finally, Dark and Darker added a skin that represents me so well. Hairy, and from the north. Yes, a Lycan has been added to Dark and Darker that gives you +3 vigor. You can't wear helmets. It's actually decent in normals, but we're going to talk about that a little more. There's other hairy, furry, scary animals they've added with this giant update that is also launched on Steam and Epic. So if anyone's joining from those platforms, welcome. This is a crazy game, especially now with Ice Abyss being part of it, which we are going to explore in this video. One thing I will say just right off the hop, damn, not having sprint is going to be an interesting change for fighter, especially when you're being chased down by giant Yetis. Luckily, this little archer decides to save us a bit of agony and gets in his way, though this was just the beginning of a whole new learning process. Before, you could always lure Wendigo into this area, and I kind of assumed it would work similarly with Yeti, but he was full of surprises, this creature. I don't really know if this is what I'm expecting for a Yeti. I picture Yetis a little differently, but that's only because I see them every day up here. Anyway, he can leap. Yeah, he can literally leap across open spaces. I don't know what triggers it, but this guy was leaping all over the place. So I did not really feel comfortable with my old tried and true Wendigo killing area. Oh, you're gonna see it. He just goes for it. It's crazy. I really... I really didn't know how to deal with this. It was a bit messed up. However, we do find the strategy here. I'm not sure if this is going to work perfectly for you guys or what the deal is. Maybe I got a little lucky, but we just kind of pinched him against his post. Didn't work flawlessly at the start, and I wasn't really sure if I was going to be able to hold him here at all. But after a few repositions and an arrow up the ass, he decided to cooperate. He is voicing a little bit of displeasure, but he gets there, trust me. We're going to get him in a spot where we can make this happen and get our first Yeti kill. You see, I kind of lure him into this corner, and then it traps him under maybe both those bars. I'm not sure what triggers his leap, or how he gets to that point where he decides he just wants to jump across a giant open space and destroy you. Not quite sure. Maybe he's out of breath, I don't really know, but this worked. So thankfully we were able to kill a Yeti not too long into this whole update. Unfortunately, he didn't really have anything that good hiding on him other than the numerous arrows I punched into his skull. So yeah, that's the Yeti. He looks pretty interesting, very neat. But there are other interesting things happening here in the new Frost map, and that is the fact that you can go into Ice Abyss, and right there is the glow you're looking for. Once you see that, away she goes. You just jump and send it. However, if you're holding weapons like spears, which you cannot get from Weaponsmith or the Squire, and you really want to keep your spears, I recommend just leaving and keeping your spears, because Ice Abyss is no joke, and I'm going to show you my experience with it shortly. But first, I have to admit, I didn't really do any PvPing, but this guy standing across the room, I had to throw a few arrows at him. I really did. And this wasn't the only occasion where pretty much one singular arrow just resulted in pure chaos for some of these new players. It's a learning experience, and that poor guy felt it from tip to shaft to whatever. Anyway, another addition are these things. Something I was glad to fight when my wife was away. Sounds a little sexual, I'm not going to lie. There are some very feminine noises coming out of this thing, which I'm not familiar with. So, yeah, those things exist. They're kind of like death bats, or what are they called? Demon bats in normal Crypt's Inferno. I think they have the same attack animation. They do this weird wind gust thing, like a Pidgey or whatever. It hasn't really done anything to me. I don't know if it's because I've had my shield up a few times they've cast or done this little, like, wind thing on me. But most times I'm just, like, my audio, like, I'm so invested in listening to the audio on these. It's crazy. So, yeah, I really didn't experience what happened with this windstorm deal. See, maybe I blocked it. I have no idea. They sound lovely. Anyway, nice addition. My wife was away, so I did spend a little bit more time examining other pieces just to see what the model was like and whatnot, and if there was, like, maybe something unique about them. Anyway, we did find our nice little hideaway at the top of this map where you can jump off. So, after sitting here, I felt a little bit scared, honestly, because I thought if I stood up, I might just scoot off with how close I am to this ledge. But you can see around like the 2.5-minute mark or so, I do decide, let's just take a look and see what's going on. And I just happen to time this very, very well. So it must open at like 2:30, I'm guessing, because it switched exactly at that time, which was nice. And away we go. Boom. Probably one of the nicest things. Oh, that transition's so nice. It's actually so clean. The jump from the top all the way down through to this ice cage. It's beautiful. It's one of the most well-done additions I think Dark & Darker has pulled off in a long time, or Iron Mace. It's very, very fun. And you spawn into this absolutely beautiful world. And my god, there are some things down here that, boy, do they give you a bit of a fright. Be careful, because in normals there are nightmare variants of mobs. So you have to be very, very careful. I decided to go over here to the right and fight this somewhat normal-looking mob, and it turned out it was a giant axe skelly that just wants to tear to pieces. Luckily, this guy was terrible at swinging. I was quite shocked that a few of these didn't hit me. Just fair warning, if he does hit you, he goes into some crazy rage mode. So just avoid that. Don't let him hit you. We then spent some time picking apart some mobs in the middle. Like I said, you do find nightmare variants, because this I'm pretty sure is a nightmare, and I love running shield when you're learning for this reason. Shield plus shield mastery makes a lot of this trivial, despite the fact he will do a leg sweep and cleave your toes once in a while. I don't know, I've never really tried to block it perfectly. It doesn't hurt that badly. Just make sure you don't take that pike, or whatever it is, halberd, into the face. Then we lured this little man. This little guy with the spooky eyes. He has a couple interesting things happening. And with the sprint changes, I am now running breakthrough. So this whole getting stuck in some thing and being slowed just doesn't affect me at all. I just run breakthrough. I can no longer be slowed, no longer be stunned. Kinda nice, you know? Some of these things don't really affect the old breakthrough fighter. It could be meta, maybe not, who knows. All I know is sprint got hit really, really hard. And it's gonna be really tough for any of these slow two-handed weapon users to catch anybody, or sword and shield. Maybe you still get in, you know, swing range with Slayer Fighter and whatnot. It's gonna be a feeling out process. I do think it acts a little differently in trios where you have like buffs, Bard, Druid, Cleric, some haste maybe from Wizard, so Fighter may be able to still be a very good front line. We'll see. There's lots we gotta dig into. I am surprised there are not more balance changes, truthfully, or skill changes. There wasn't really a lot changed, other than sprint, at least for my fighter class. Sprint and breakthrough. I would have loved to see some other things get a little bit of a bonus. Other big pointer, if you see the blue little emblem thing, or kind of rock pile in the middle of the room, it does spawn a triple portal. You can escape with that, but we're not going to escape with that, because we're going to find the Frost Wyvern. That's what we came here for. And this deserves a cinematic view, because boy, does this look beautiful. On the lead up to this, look, oh, another lovely creature to fight as well. It is a beautiful map. That's what I'm trying to hammer home here. They did a very good job creating this world, making it feel unique. I love it. But we do have to deal with another flying creature and her very, very feminine noises. Look at this thing. It's incredible, right? Absolutely beautiful. And once again, wind attack, no idea what it does. I really can't answer any questions about that. This iced harpy in all its glory. Don't really drop anything special though. At least I haven't found anything amazing. There is a lot of risk to going down here as well. I think I got one of the probably more simple modules. If you just pull all the mobs if you have a bow, and then fight off everything with shield. There are some little things I've peeked at the end, and I'll show you those. But first, we have to gaze upon this creature. Our Lycan boy has finally made it to the end of his journey. But man, does this ever look cool. Very, very awesome. Apparently the trick is you need 4 people, at least, to block all the beams or whatnot, to try and get a chance at fighting this thing. I have not witnessed, or even, I mean, I'm a solo player. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to get the opportunity Might have to, like, tag along in a Trios map and try to see if I can try to get in there and fight it. Something tells me breakthrough may be very beneficial. Other than that, we hoovered up some loot for questing and made it out of here alive. But I did want to show you one last little peek at other mobs. There's a ton of other stuff down here, trust me. You guys should definitely explore this place and learn it and, you know, have that sense of, like, discovering something new if you're a longtime player or if you're a new player. There is a lot of stuff to learn down here. And my recommendation, as always with Dark and Darker, just jump in there, die a few times, fight people, do whatever you gotta do to figure this map out. It is really, really good. It's one of the probably better map additions we've had in a long time. I can see this being really, really exciting and interesting. I cannot wait to see people kill that boss or even attempt it myself. I'll see you guys all next time.